And the pushback was, why are you so hard on NF, but you have Dax on? Now, I want to just point out the obvious that, and if you watch my interview with Dax, I did push back on some things, specifically some of the manifestation new age stuff that he talked about. And so NF is someone who, like, this is a really goofy concept, which then kind of presents this notion that I'm platforming him, or I platform Young Don, okay? This is what you guys got to understand.
Ruslan.
Hey, I got to get some stuff off my chest. You know, I be reading comments, Zach.
Okay.
Sometimes I shouldn't be reading comments, but I be reading comments.
Tell me about it.
And we had Dax on yesterday.
Okay.
And the pushback in the comments was, Dax is not a Christian rapper. How dare you have him on? Some of his content is still explicit, even though he seems to be on a faith journey of sorts. He talked about going to church. Though it was Judah Smith Church, still church home. I'll take it. Okay, I'll take it. And the pushback was, why are you so hard on NF, but you have Dax on? Now, I want to just point out the obvious that, don't you find it a bit odd that the guy that was signed to the Christian rap label and then signed to the Christian CCM label talks less about Jesus than the guy that's barely Christian? Now, I haven't heard NF's whole album.
Barely
from my
Christian,
understanding.
probably not the best way to put
probably
that.
not the best way to describe Dax. Okay, Dax professes to be Christian, professes to believe in the death, bodily resurrection. Dax is super amazing, super cool guy, and I believe he's on a journey. And what people may not see is what's happening behind the scenes, right? And so the fact that he's willing to drive down, the dude is doing incredible. He's one of the biggest rappers on TikTok, period.
Yep.
Arguably the biggest independent rapper out there, one of the biggest. You know, he's probably up there with the Russes. I'd be curious to see analytics in terms of Russ's TikTok following, but he's up there. And he came down. He follows a bunch of Christian accounts. He's clearly trying to press into the faith more, and I'm super glad that I got to sit down with him. Hey, you want to see something crazy? Over 51% of the people who watch this channel are not subscribed. Do me a favor, please hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you don't miss anything we have going here. I appreciate you. Now, that doesn't mean I'm mad at NF. I'm not. I'm a little irritated that all of the interviews he does is just complete fluff pieces with channels that have less than 5,000 subscribers that don't talk about anything slightly controversial with him. And if you watch my interview with Dax, I did push back on some things, specifically some of the manifestation new age stuff that he talked about. And so NF is someone who is not willing to sit down with me. I would love to sit down with NF. I would love to have a real conversation with NF, pun intended. I would love to challenge him on a few things. I would love for him to be that vulnerable to sit down with someone that's not just going to do a fluff piece on him. And you know what I'm saying? All this super fluffy stuff that he does. And so I think NF mentioning God is great. NF not mentioning Jesus and dropping his album on Good Friday is an L. And that just is what it is. Now, I haven't heard the whole album, but you guys told me that. You guys told me there's no reference of Jesus on it. You know what I'm saying? I want to listen to the whole album. I think it's a good album. The 3 singles I heard, I absolutely loved. I thought they were great. But this isn't. There's no need to pin me having people on that are not a part of the Christian ecosystem, and that against like me being critical of NF, who was very much part of the Christian ecosystem and greatly benefited from the Christian ecosystem. Hey, you may not know I make music, but I have a brand new song that just came out. Here's a quick preview.
In a moment, I gotta overcompensate by building tabernacles. Why the world is rubbernecking, Eve wanted an Adam's apple. Whoa there, why you wanna go there? Time to shut the door, cause we letting out all the cold air.
Yo, double R back, baby. It's not for Rolls Royce, it's for Rap Ruslan. Let's get it.
So hit the link in the description or go to ruslantothemoon.com to stream now. I'll see you over there.
Why you wanna go there?
And so, do I think he's scared to be asked tough questions? I don't know. I think he's scared to be challenged. He's probably not as eloquent on his feed. Dax seems like he talks a lot. You know what I'm saying? And so he seems much more comfortable talking a lot. And I think that the second thing is, I think people don't understand that there is a process to building relationships with people, and that you guys don't get to see the 2-hour-long conversation we had off camera, where he just kind of hung out and we talked about a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff that is private. That's amazing, right? That's good. And so there's also a relationship building process, and that why would we not want Christians in media to connect with other Christians who are growing in the faith and build relationships with them? Like, this is a really goofy concept, which then kind of presents this notion that I'm platforming him, or I platform Young Don. Okay, this is what you guys got to understand. When someone has 10x the platform than you do, you're not really platforming them. They're already platformed.
Speaking of which, Dax has 7.5 million TikTok followers. Russ has 3.7.
So Dax has twice the following on TikTok as the biggest, probably the highest grossing independent artist, which is Russ. As far as I know, I don't know if there's anybody else, but Christian independent rapper. So that's massive,
huge.
There's almost a 10 million followers on TikTok. I'm not platforming Dax, you goobers. I'm not platforming Young Don. His main big channel had over 2.5 million subscribers. You can't platform someone that's in the 1% of the 1% of the 1% of people online. You can build relationships with them and have conversations, that's what we're doing here. And never do I fully endorse or stamp or cosign. Not that my cosign's even worth anything like that. You have a brain. You can listen to his music. You could tell me which songs are congruent with a Christian gospel-centered worldview and which songs are not. But this notion that I'm platforming people, it's very cancel culture-ish. It's very, you sat down with someone that sat down with someone that sat down with someone we don't like. Yeah. It's gross. It's totally gross. Hey, if you enjoyed the stream, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. And consider partnering with us in our online community for as little as $5 a month. Get access to these daily after-party streams completely unedited. Get access to our podcasts before they come out. And keep us brand-free, independent, and only answering to you, so we never have to make goofy commercials like these.
Our friends at Genucel Skincare have exciting news to celebrate in 2023.
Using Manscaped during my showers after workout has given me much more confidence.
And that's where Mudwater comes in.
True Classic has got your back.
All thanks to the sponsor of today's video, SayMine.com.
Established Titles is your opportunity to earn the title of Laird, or Lady. Subject to credit approval, rates range from 7.99% APR to 19.99% APR, included 0.50% auto pay discount.
If you don't want us to make ads with brands you don't care about, sign up for our online community for as little as $5 a month to keep us independent and ultimately answering to you as our boss. You get all sorts of benefits like daily replays of our after party streams, exclusive access to our Discord community, and early access to our podcast interviews, all starting for only $5 a month.